it's my pleasure to introduce NBC Timawaki Matua John Kendal to the stage to open our awards evening.
The following excerpt is from the Marlborough, 1918. Captures the essence of the resilience expressed within our community at that time, as New Zealand was recovering from post-war and the influenza pandemic that was taking grip throughout all our communities, which sadly took over 9,000 lives throughout the country. I quote, "We too have our place to fill in the world, and it behoves us to seize the opportunity presented to us of fitting ourselves for the battle of life. In doing this honestly and with all our hearts, we are helping to raise the tone of the school. We must remember the best way to arouse enthusiasm in anything is to be enthusiastic oneself. Each year, new faces appear and old ones go forward. And each year adds more history to the annuals of the school. Let us strive then by everyone doing his best to make our year more successful than the previous year, and so win honour for the MHS 1918. Developing healthy minds and bodies is fundamental to the purpose of any school. However, unless we provide valued experiences that meets the needs of our young men, they will spend their time in other ways, which means a dramatic, long-term negative impact on our health system, our social and community connectedness. Here are 5 lessons that I think being involved in sport does for our young men. Respect for referees and umpires. Sports has rules, and in order for a player and a team to be successful, they have to play within those rules. 2, perseverance. Sports help students realise that they can overcome adversity. There are games they are going to win, and there are games they're going to lose. Just as in life, sport teaches them how to come back after a loss, how to improve and work hard, treating others well. It's important in life to learn how to both win well and lose well. 4, developing courage. It takes courage to step onto the field or court and face a challenge. It takes courage to train and invest physically and emotionally in something with the risk of losing. Number 5, is teamwork. One of the greatest traits that sports will ever teach our students is the ability to work alongside other people for a common purpose. We all need to help and to learn to work with others. Sports, above all else, teaches this lesson vividly. There have been many notable achievements in 2021. Squash, karting, triathlon, sailing, para-athletics, rowing, shooting, rugby, basketball, touch rugby, to name but a few. A highlight this year was having our very own Olympic gold medalist, Tom Murray, return to the community to celebrate his success. In Tom Murray's last year at school, Olympic gold medalist Joseph Sullivan came to Marlborough Boys College, having won the men's rowing double in 2012. I remember what that gold medal did for me back at school. If I can have a similar effect on just one other kid, then it's all worth it. Kei te mihi nui kia koe e hoa, me mai hoki mai te kura. It's wonderful to have you back to be with us yet again. As in sports, sometimes the conditions change. Our preparations don't go to plan, or we just don't fire on all cylinders. COVID-19 has changed the game plan as to how we had intended to acknowledge the wonderful achievements of those students being recognised this evening. Please don't let that take away from your moment to bask in the rays of your hard work and the commitment to be the best that you can be. Nō reira, tēnā koutou katoa.
Tēnā koutou, me ngā mihi, mahana, kia koutou katoa. Tonight we celebrate the 29th Annual Marlborough Boys College Sportsman of the Year Awards. Not quite a dinner like we normally have, but we're still here. My name is Josh Harrison. I'm one of the acting assistant principals at Marlborough Boys College, and I'm privileged to be your MC for this evening. Hamish McKero, our head of sport, unfortunately is unable to be the MC this evening because he's had his wisdom teeth out today. Like last year, it's been a difficult year for sport, but it's great to be able to do what we can do under the new normal. Tonight is about celebrating the success and hard work of sportsmen at our college. For a school in a small provincial area of New Zealand, Marlborough Boys College has a long and successful history of producing quality sportsmen, many of whom have gone on to represent this province, and for a fortunate and dedicated few, our country in their representative codes. Indeed, in your programs around the school, you can see the quality of sportsmen that have graced our school. I think you all here believe that sport at Marlborough Boys College gives our students the opportunity to live our school values of pride, respect, responsible, involved, and being the best you can be. Tonight, we congratulate those who have succeeded in 2021, and we look forward to them continuing in this proud tradition of sporting success into the future. It is also an opportunity to give thanks to numerous volunteers, coaches, parents, teachers, trusts and community sponsors that have generously given up their time, effort, money to enable our students to participate and achieve. Representative badges are back, and a part of some of the awards this evening will be presented. You can only receive a badge once, but you can get it recognised across a number of sports. These are awarded by sports coaches, and you'll hear more about these in 2022. For those who are receiving an award tonight, the protocol will be to come and line up to the left of the stage here when your name is read. Then when your whole group is here, your name will be read again. You'll come up onto the stage to receive your award here, and then exit via the right here down the steps. we'll head to Mrs. Fiona Marks, who's going to take you a photo with the award that you received. There'll be no handshaking on the stage, but instead we'll go with a fist bump. Not a fist bump, sorry, an elbow bump. We would like to acknowledge and thank all the hard work of the people who have put this together tonight, and you'll hear more about that as we go along. When we have the group up here, when the full group is up here, that will be then when we acknowledge them and give them a paki paki. The first set of awards we'll be presented tonight are the Contribution to Sport Certificates and the Blues Awards. The Contribution to Sport Awards are awarded to those boys who have made a significant contribution to helping others at school with sport. I'd like to ask Varney and Ollie Mandeno, our sport prefects, to come forward and present these awards.
Kia ora and good evening. For those of you that don't know, I'm Varney and that is Ollie Mandeno. So, the following boys have assisted with sport this year. Can I please ask Troy Uplow, Aston Dilmore, Arama Hita, Saxon King, Blake Love, Hunter Lowe, Quinn Sands Morton, Flynn Ritchie, Massimo Romano, and Campbell Wally to please come to the side of the stage. And this is for basketball refereeing. Troy Uplow. Aston Dilmore, Arama Ita, Saxon King, Blake Love, Hunter Lowe, Quinn Sands Morton, Flynn Ritchie, Massimo Romano, and Campbell Wally. Well done, boys. Service to rugby, Connor Orty, Frank Hartland, and Ben McWilliam. One of those boys are here? No? Right. Jack Flynn for his contribution to medical assistance for school sport. Isaiah Honolulu for water polo, and Don Henry for shooting. Jack Flynn. Don Henry. We also have one more award here for the NBC Lauren Game Family Trophy for service to sport. And this award goes to Jack Flynn. Jack Flynn. So our next awards are Blues certificates, and can we please ask Mr. Mikiro to come and present these.
presented tonight are the Blues Awards. The first ones will be the Junior Blues. For basketball, can Peyton Ritchie please come up to the side of the stage? For hockey, Liam O'Connell, Tyler Black, Ben Armstrong, Jamie Blake, Lewis Gerlin. For multi-sports, Finn McKenzie. For rowing, Walter Wickham. For shooting, Reuben Henry. Squash, Jack Friskin. Table tennis, Rory Osborne. Touch, Ben Blackmore and Leo Marple. And for rugby, Ben Gibbons. Peyton Ritchie. Okay. Liam O'Connell. Tyler Black. Ben Armstrong. Jamie Blake. Lewis Gerlin. Finn McKenzie. Walter Wickham. Reuben Henry. Jack Friskin. Rory Osborne. Ben Blackmore. Leo Marple. And Ben Gibbons. Congratulations. Okay, the next set of awards will be the Senior Blues for 2021. So can the following boys please line up to the left of the stage? For athletics, James Hanson, Nico Pape, Dale Arbuckle, Blake Love, Saxton King, Flynn Ritchie, Campbell Wiley. For cricket, Cooper Roberts, Joel Pennell, and Tim Petrie. James Hanson. Nico Pape. Dale Arbuckle. Blake Love. Saxton King. Flynn Ritchie. Campbell Wiley. Cooper Roberts. Joel Pennell. And Tim Petrie. Congratulations, boys. Can the next set of people do the same thing? Adam Bidwell for cycling, Caitlin Murphy for equestrian, Lachlan Mackey, Gus Varney, Sam Hamilton and Luke Adams for hockey, William Easton for karting, and Ryan Marful and Joe Caldwell for multisport. Bidwell. Caitlin Murphy. Lachlan Mackey. Gus Varney. Sam Hamilton. Luke Adams. William Higston. Ryan Marple. And Joe Colwell. Congratulations, boys. And for rowing, we have Dylan Burton, Sam Copham, James Fitzgerald, Mason Henderson, Leon Poswillow, Reece Salvador, Hugh Straker, Fred Vavasor, Dylan Burton. Sam Cochran. James Fitzgerald. Mason Henderson. Leon Poswillow. Reece Salvador. Hugh Straker. And Fred Vavasor. Congratulations, boys. And for rugby, we have William McKenzie, Jake Pacey, Cooper Roberts, Kyron Tomokala, Pina Sumani Fitpaki, Toby McLeod, and for sailing we have Jack Bennett, Dom Henry for shooting, and Tom Marshall and Chris Hibbard for squash. William McKenzie. Jake Pacey. Cooper Roberts. Kyron Tomokala. Pina Sumani Fitpaki. Toby McLeod. Jack Bennett, Don Henry, Tom Marshall, Chris Hibbert. Congratulations. Touch rugby, we have Jack Burnham, Jake Pacey, Nico Papey, Hugh Robinson, Kyron Tomokala. For underwater hockey, we have Callum McLean, Jack Wilkes, and Casey Evans. Jack Burton, Jake Casey, Nico Patrick, Hugh Robinson, Matua, Callum McLean, Jack Wilkes, and Casey Evans. Congratulations, boys.
Thank you, boys, and congratulations. Sometimes boys misunderstand what it means to get a blue. A blue is really, really significant. We've got over 500 boys that play sport at the school, and only around about 50 boys got a blue today. So it is a really, really significant thing, and to get a blue, you need to be at a really high level of playing ability. So that's fantastic to those guys. Next up, we have the presentation of sports trophies for 2021. The presentation this evening, the sports trophies, will be done by Mr. Hugh Mackwell, PE teacher and coach of the junior basketball and junior sevens team. And presenting the trophies will be sports coordinator Bridget Gang.
Good everybody. The following boys come to the stage. James Hanson, Gus Varney, Nico Pepe, Sione Offa, and Ben Gibbons, and Riley Prefects. For our clubs, we have the Fletcher Cup Under-16 Intermediate Champion, James Hanson. The Major AB West Memorial Cup Senior 400 metre Champion, we have Gus Varney. The McCullum Cup Senior Athletic Champion, Nico Pepe. The Crawford Cup Junior Field Events, Sione Offa. The St George Junior Athletics Champion, Ben Gibbons. The Russell Cup Under-14 Athletics Champion, Riley Prefects. Congratulations, Nick. And the following boys come to the stage. Flynn Ritchie, Saxon King, Peyton Ritchie. basketball, the Holdaway Trophy, Most Improved Player, Senior, Flynn Ritchie. The Coaches Trophy, Basketball Player of the Year, Saxon King. The McDonald Whānau Cup, Peyton Ritchie. And the following boys come to the stage. Tom Leonard, Cooper Roberts, Joel Pannell, Baxter Crowe. For cricket, the A&J Marfell Cup, Sportsmanship, Leadership and Dress, Tom Leonard. The RMR Bean Cup, Best First 11 Batsman, Cooper Roberts. NBC Coaches Cup, Best First 11 Bowler, Joel Pannell. The John Guy Cup, Most Outstanding Senior Cricketer, Joel Pannell. The Bartlett Bat, Most Promising Junior in Cricket, Baxter Crowe. Congratulations, Nick. And the following boys come to the stage. Elijah O'Donnell, Finn McKenzie, Ryan Marfell, Spencer Holmes, and Fred Vavasaur. For cross country, the Jason Brown Cup, Year 9 Champion, Elijah O'Donnell. The D Cup, Year 10 Cross Country, Finn McKenzie. The Brian Simpson Trophy, Year 11 Champion, Ryan Marfell. Patchett Family Cup, Year 12 Champion, Spencer Holmes. The Peter R. Jackson Cup, Senior Champion, Fred Vavasaur. Congratulations. And the following boys come to the stage. Cooper Johnson, Riley Belden, Adam Bidwell, Louis Hurley, Lachlan Matthew. For cycling, the McAlpine Cup, Best Junior Cyclist, Cooper Johnson. Genders Cup, Most Improved Cyclist, Riley Calvert. The Gibbons Cup, Cyclist of the Year, Senior, Adam Bidwell. For hockey, Coaches Cup, Most Improved Player, Louis Geerling. The Varney Cup, Senior Player making outstanding contribution, Lachlan Mackey. Congratulations. Can the following boys come to the stage? Ben Serrani, Finn McKenzie, Ryan Marco. For mountain biking, NBC Mountain Biker of the Year, Ben Serrani. The Reedy Cycles Points Cup, Junior Champion, Ben Serrani. For multisport, Marlborough College's Junior Triathlete of the Year, Finn McKenzie. The Shepherd Cup, Triathlon Senior Champion, Ryan Marco. The Reedy Brothers Challenge Cup, Multisports Senior Athlete of the Year, Ryan Marco. Congratulations, mate. Can the following boys come to the stage? Hunter Nielsen, Ashley James, Fitzgerald, Sam Felton, Walter Wickham, Leon Poswillow, Ryan Salvador, Reece Salvador, Leon Poswillow, Dylan Burton, Ashley James Fitzgerald, Sam Felton, Walter Wickham, and Fred Battersall. For rowing, the Tony Brook Trophy, Junior East Novice Oarsman, Hunter Nielsen. The Stevens Cup, Most Outstanding Oarsman, Sculling, Open, Ashley James Fitzgerald. NBC Rowing Cup, Most Conscientious Oarsman, Open, Sam Felton. The Coxswain Cup, Rowing Coxswain Open, Walter Wickham. The Higglin Tankard, Most Improved Oarsman, Open, Leon Poswillow. Glenham Rowing Club, Best Performed Crew, Open, the Under 17 Cox Quad. and that consisted of Reece Salvador, Leon Poswillo, Dylan Burton, Ashley James Fitzgerald, Sam Felton, and Walter Wilson. The Van Beltevin Cup, Most Outstanding Oarsman, Sweet Ball Open, Fred Babasor. Congratulations. And the following boys come to the stage. Carter Aiken, Josh Whittle, Sam Neal, Billy Sloan, William McKenzie, Valor Mola Hotu, Tim Petrie, Thomas Large, Ben Gibbons, Hinisimani Fiaki, Cooper Roberts. For rugby, the Bryce Family Cup, Under 15 Rugby Player of the Year, Carter Aiken. SD Cup, Most Improved Player, Senior, Josh Whittle. The Hart Trophy, Team Player of the Year, Sam Neal. The Ian Hammond Memorial Cup, Best Defensive First 15 Player, Billy Sloan. The Matthews Cup, Outstanding First 15 Player, William McKenzie. The Harrison Jones Family Trophy, Best Defensive Player, Second 15, Valor Moala Hotu. The Tomlinson Cup, Most Improved Second 15 Player, Tim Petrie. Most Valuable Player, Second 15, Thomas Large. Under 14 Rugby Player of the Year, Ben Gibbons. First 15, East Forward, Hinisimani Fiaki. First 15, East Back, Cooper Roberts. Congratulations, men. Can the following boys please come to the stage? Jack Franson, Edward Potts, Dom Henry, Reuben Henry. That's it. For sailing, United Video Team, Sailing Cup, Senior showing most effective leadership, Jack Franson. Most Improved Junior Sailor, Edward Potts. The Gifford Family Trophy, Most Improved Senior Sailor, Jack Franson. For shooting Scene Trophy, Senior Best 22 Marksman, Dom Henry. The Love Trophy, small ball target shooting junior, Ruben Henry. The Murray Haycock Memorial Trophy Open Cup, Dom Henry. Congratulations, men. And the following boys, please come to the stage. Kane Elvin, Jay Garris, Elijah O'Donnell, Tom Marshall, Chris Hibbert. For football, Stuart Cup, Senior Top Player, Kane Elvin. The Russell Nicholson Memorial Cup, Senior Player making most outstanding contributions to soccer, Jay Garris. The Murchison Trophy, Most Improved Year 9 Player, Elijah O'Donnell. For squash, Old Boys Association Squash Trophy, Senior Best Player, Tom Marshall. The Craig Family Award, Best Contribution to Squash, Chris Hibbert. Congratulations, men. And the following boys, please come to the stage. Joel Guerin, Ollie Mandeno, Scott Key, Jack Love, Rory Osborne. For swimming, McLean Cup. The McLean Cup, Intermediate Champion, Joel Guerin. Senior Championship Cup, Senior Swimming Champion, Ollie Mandeno. The Year 9 Swimming Champion Trophy, Scott Key. The Year 10 Swimming Champion Trophy, Jack Love. The McDonald Cup Junior Swimming Champion, Jack Love. Congratulations, men. And the following boys, please come to the stage. Rory Osborne, Oscar Sanford, Dan Clark, Leo Martel, Hugh Robinson. Table tennis, Marlborough Boys College Senior Table Tennis Champion, Rory Osborne. For tennis, the Briding Cup Senior Singles Champion, Oscar Sanford. The Orchard Cup Junior Tennis Champion, Dan Clark. Touch Rugby, Junior Touch Player of the Year, Leo Martel. Senior Touch Player of the Year, Hugh Robinson. Congratulations, Minnie. And the following boys, please come to the stage. Joshua Whittle, Thomas Hall, Jared Molly, Callum McLean, Liam Williamson, Ethan McLeish, Scott Peck. For volleyball, Tomlinson Cup, Senior Volleyball Player of the Year, Joshua Whittle. The Wayne Hegarty Award, Contribution to Volleyball, Thomas Hall. The Dave Oliver Trophy, Best Junior Volleyball Player, Jared Molly. For underwater hockey, Most Valuable Senior Player, Callum McLean. Most Valuable Junior Player, Liam Williamson. The Water Polo Cup to Best Water Polo Player, Ethan McLeish. The Water Polo Cup to Best Junior Water Polo Player, Scott Peck. Congratulations, Min. And a final congratulations to all trophy winners for 2021.
Thank you, Mr. Nick. Well done for those trophy winners. Next up, we have the presentation of the National Representatives for 2021. National Representative Awards are awarded to those individuals that have been selected to compete for New Zealand at any level. This award was introduced to recognise all sportsmen at the college in any sport who have achieved national selection. I'll now ask Assistant Principal Mr. Dunn to come forward to read the National Representative Awards, and Sports Coordinator Floyd Hedden is going to present the certificates.
Kia ora koutou. Can I please have the following boys to the side of the stage? Angus Korpua, Fletcher Korpua, Hugh Robinson, Dominic Henry, Fred Vavassor, Tom Marshall, and Jack Friskin. Angus Korpua and Fletcher Korpua, orienteering. Both Angus and Fletcher were selected for the New Zealand Schools orienteering team that was scheduled to compete in the Southern Cross Challenge in Tasmania. This is a secondary schools orienteering test between New Zealand and Australia. Hugh Robinson, touch. Following the New Zealand Touch Nationals, Hugh was selected to play for the New Zealand Under-16 Mixed Touch team, which was scheduled to play a Trans-Tasman series against Australia. Dominic Henry, shooting. Dom was the captain of the New Zealand Under-21 men's team in the 50-metre outdoor competition and a postal shoot against Australia. Dom also qualified for the New Zealand Open Slazenger team among the top 22 men and women in New Zealand. Fred Vavassor, bowling. Following a strong year on the water, Fred has been selected for the Rowing New Zealand Under-19 team with selection in the Under-19 8. In addition to this, Fred was also selected to join the Rowing New Zealand Pathway Programme. John Marshall, squash. John is currently ranked #1 Under-17 player in New Zealand, and following the National Secondary Schools Tournament, Tom was named in the New Zealand Secondary Schools senior team. Jack Friskin, squash. Following the National Secondary Schools Tournament, Jack was named in the New Zealand Secondary Schools junior team. I'd like to take the opportunity to congratulate all the boys in achieving their national selection. Paki paki.
Pretty special to have that many boys represent New Zealand in a really disruptive year, so congratulations to those young men. I'd now like to ask our head sports prefect, Ollie and Gus, to come forward to introduce our guest speaker for this evening.
It's a pleasure to welcome tonight's guest speaker, Tom Murray. As many of you are aware, Tom is an NBC old boy who has had a very successful rowing career to date, representing New Zealand in multiple world champion and Olympic events, with his most recent success winning gold in Tokyo. I could stand here for a long time listening to all of his achievements, but I'm excited to hear from Tom to share his story of all his journey in sport. It's a real honour to have an NBC old boy and athlete of his calibre here to talk to us this evening. So can I please have Tom Murray join me on the stage?
Well, thank you first of all for having me here, to be able to be here in person to help share and celebrate some of these really cool achievements from some young modern men in the same seats that I was sitting on not too long ago. So I'll share with you a bit about what I've been doing since leaving my time at Marlborough College back in 2012. But my story begins a little bit before that. My first introduction to rowing was back in 2009 with the annual visit from Bill and Bob, our local coaches down the river, and they would bring the rowing machines. We'd park up in the gym, and through PE, every boy would cycle through and have a go 2 minutes, row as fast as you can, row as far as you can in 2 minutes. That first year in 2009, posted a pretty good score, and Bob and Bill, they invited me down to the river. I sat there and I nodded along politely, but ultimately said, no thank you, it's going to interrupt with my rugby. It was sort of a bit of a clash with rugby and we couldn't have that, so I went my way and they went their way. It wasn't until the following year, 2010, they turned up again. This time they would not take no for an answer. They gave me a time to be down at the river. I said, oh sorry, no, I'm going to have to catch the bus, I can't make that. He said, well, my car's here, jump in, I'll take you down there myself. So, out of excuses, I ended up down in the river. Never before had sitting down been quite so hard. It was not appreciated at all. It wasn't until I talked to some of the older boys down at the club, and they'd mentioned how rowing will be valuable to my rugby playing. I said, how on earth is that? They said the benefit you can get fitness-wise from rowing will pay dividends in rugby. So it was, in that way I was convinced to sit down and row backwards as fast as I can. And we spend a a couple of years at school doing that, rowing slowly started to take more and more time, and my last year at high school in 2012, it was time to make a decision. That decision was, do I play another year in the first 15 or do I row? That was not a decision that I could, it was ultimately not a decision that I could make. So I gave myself an ultimatum, and that was, if I take this New Zealand trial and I make the team, the rowing trial, and I make the New Zealand team, then I will row. If I go to the trial and I do not make the team, then I'll continue to play rugby. Because I'm here standing before you for a rowing medal and not a rugby medal, it's clear that I made that New Zealand team, and I played one game of rugby since then, unfortunately. But rowing, like it tends to do, took over. Now the ride since leaving Marlborough College has not been a smooth one. It's had its ups and downs, of course, and its setbacks, its leap forwards, its disappointments, its injuries, its illnesses. So starting from 2013, the year after leaving school, I was still 18, I was fresh out of school, and I made the trial list for the under-23 team. I was not expecting to make the team, but I headed there anyway, not wanting to pass up the opportunity for a bit of trial experience. And I made the team. Because I wasn't quite prepared for it, I was shocked to know that I had 2 days to go down to Dunedin and enroll in university, and I had to be back up in Cambridge, up in Waikato, ready to row. And being my first year out of home, I was shocked to come across my first coach. I'd had many coaches in the past, all of which I'd like, well, I proudly admit I got along with my coaches. This first coach I had was not the case. This coach seemed to take an instant disliking to me, and I learned a very tough lesson very quickly, and that is everybody you meet in life will not like you. Everybody will like you, and you will not like everybody that you meet. Up until this point, I had the ability to, I guess, distance myself from people that I didn't like, and people were able to distance themselves from me who didn't like me. But having a coach for quite an intense New Zealand team take an instant disliking to me was a bit of a shock, and it sort of put me off quite quickly, and took me some time to recover. But that was a lesson that I'm glad I learned early on. Before I left school and started that journey, I was sitting in almost the same seat that you were down the road before my own sports Prizegiving, and the guest speaker was Joseph Sullivan. And to be able to have an Olympic medalist in the same sport that I was becoming involved in was hugely exciting. And at that time, I didn't realise it, but my own Olympic campaign had begun. Battling 2 years along with a coach that seemed to not like me very much, my Olympic campaign was off to a bit of a shaky start. And this is part of the ups and downs. I wouldn't consider having an unenthusiastic coach an up. I definitely put that more towards the down column. But an up was that we managed to win a world championship, under-23 world championship. The following year was more injuries, more illnesses, still the same coach, but again another up. We defended our under-23 title. That was 2013 and 14, and now 2015 rolled around, and we were now too old to row an age group. We had to take the big leap up and row in the elite grade. With a change of coach came a new excitement, because there was yet another coach that I was able to work well with. And
last year in our Building the Olympic campaign. And to follow the trend of ups and downs, we ended, unfortunately, on a bit of a down. We come 6th. While, in the grand scheme of things, 6th at the Olympics, at the first Olympics, is a really great achievement, we've gone in there with hopes much higher than that. And to finish the year off was another Marlborough Boys College Sports Awards. This time I was lucky enough to replace Joe and be able to share my own experience of my own Olympic journey. What this did was it marked the end of my Olympic campaign and the start of yet another Olympic campaign at the same spot that my previous Olympic campaign had started. So it was a very tidy round circle, and I was ready and rearing to go for another cycle. This next cycle started in 2017. Having raced the last 4 years in an 8, I made the decision to trial for the pier. So this is, I made the pier with Jamie Hunter, a Wellington rider, or ex-Wellington rider. And I spent the next 3 years of that Olympic campaign going for the pier. Again, ups and downs, injuries and illnesses. 2017, a big up was we won the gold medal at the World Cup. Ended up on a down at the 3rd at World Champs. Following year in 2018, started on a bit of a down, broke my foot, seat biscuiting of all things. Again, that vacillated back up to a high. We won the World Cup again and came back down. We ended on 5th at the World Champs. 2019 started much better than 2018. No broken feet, no broken wrists. As the crew, I had a broken foot the year before, my partner had a broken wrist. Not great for rowing or any sport. Although this time, starting more neutral waters, we ended up on a high. 2019, we qualified the New Zealand, the pier for the 2020 Olympics. Then, of course, 2020 rolls around and everything is thrown up into the air. And this is where not just sports across the world, but in all facets of life across the world got thrown into the air. And to me to have gone through my Māori Cup and to know the experiences through high school sport, at the end of high school sport, to hear and to know that sports across the country weren't going ahead, but that athletes across the world and across the country and in schools, that athletes continue to persevere, to continue to turn up, shows the determination and a maturity that is really quite commendable, and every athlete in here should feel very proud of themselves to still be here after such a sort of tumultuous few years. For us, preparing for the Olympics to be thrown into the COVID to be thrown into the mix. At this stage I was in the pier, we've been going well, we qualified in the 2nd place. We were looking to get a medal, an Olympic medal in 2020. And then all of a sudden the Olympics were postponed. For us, we didn't quite know what this meant. We didn't know if they would be going ahead at all. Because of the level of organisation that goes into an Olympics, it's not so easy to postpone. And really the mindset that we had no choice but to adopt was that they were going to go ahead. We figured that if we were to spend our time training in limbo, as it were, then we wouldn't get the most out of ourselves, and then we'd turn up to the Olympics underdone, not ready to perform, and ultimately have another disappointing result. So the mindset that we adopted almost immediately was that yes, that they will be going ahead, it's just a matter of when, and we need to be ready. So for myself, that meant I spent that first lockdown living by myself, training on the rowing machine, in the basement. They have to crack the door to get a bit of airflow in. The wind, the driving rain coming in sideways will be hitting my feet as I'm in the early hours of the morning trying to get my training out of the way, so I can try and I guess relax throughout the rest of the day. What was initially supposed to be 3 or 4 weeks turned into something quite a bit longer, but eventually we all made it out, and it was back to business as usual. Now, once we got word that the Olympics were not going to be happening this year, we all took a bit of a break and we were preparing for Christmas. As we came back from Christmas in 2021, my future in the pair was no longer quite as clear. After the extra year, our motivations had slightly changed, and being in a pair with only one other person, that teamwork was really crucial. And the option arrived of maybe joining the 8. This was quite a remarkable decision to make. Looking back at the time, we didn't maybe quite appreciate it quite so much, but we had qualified that pair in 2019, and we were considering entering into a crew that had yet to qualify. Because the 8 had missed qualifying in 2019, that means that they had to, earlier in 2021, the 8 had to travel to Switzerland amongst COVID, attempt to qualify the boat, then on return to New Zealand would have to quarantine for 2 weeks in a hotel room that would be at that time a month and a half away from the biggest race of our lives. Not the preparation that we had dreamed of. With some convincing, we decided to leave that qualified pair, that qualified boat, and to, I guess, take a shot, take a leap for this 8 that has so much history in New Zealand. A boat that we had tried to win gold in before and had fallen short. So there was definitely a feeling of unfinished business in this 8. And to have had that opportunity to jump into the 8, looking back, of course, hindsight being 2020, it was the right decision to make, but our work was cut out for us. Early in 2021, we had to travel to Switzerland, which took some convincing from the powers that be that would let us leave the country amongst a potentially huge financial risk if somebody were to get sick. That also meant for a month before actually leaving the country, we had to wear masks, self-imposed isolation, because at that time, if you were to turn up the airport, not even with COVID, but with signs of being sick, it was unlikely that you'd actually be able to get on the plane. So not only were we trying to avoid COVID, we were also trying to avoid the common cold, we're trying to avoid sniffles and sore coughs. We wrapped ourselves in cotton wool for a month before we left to Switzerland, which is now quite early on in the year. And to have made it across the other side of the world and back, and qualifying in the process, is a real testament to the team around us that put the planning in that was required. And for all of the young Marlborough men sitting in this room, for everybody, every one of you that is attempting to push their athletic and sporting careers further, you will come across, or I sure hope you come across teams that have worked as hard for me and they will work as hard for you. That includes teachers, it includes coaches, it includes parents and family members that make our journeys possible. And the team that we had around us that got us to the other side of the world, and they got us back and left the rowing and the qualifying. They were able to take that huge burden off our shoulders, and we were able to perform and thankfully qualify that boat. And if that was all the work that was required for a gold medal, then fair enough, but our job wasn't even halfway done yet. return to New Zealand, we were now preparing for the Olympics. The Olympics were less than 2 months away. We weren't even back in the country yet, and we were looking at 2 weeks in a hotel room by yourself with a rowing machine. For those that are familiar with rowing machines, that is enough to induce nightmares. We, again, our team devised for us a training program that would push us as hard as we could without injuring ourselves. Because not only now were we battling COVID and this common cold and sore throats, but we were now fighting injuries as well. Being this close to the finish line, an injury could spell doom for us as we were very limited on reserves. Unbelievably, and a huge thanks to our team around us again, we got through 2 weeks alone in a hotel room with a rowing machine. And not only did we come out of that hotel room, but we came out on really great form. And that allowed us to hit the ground running for the final 4 weeks that we had in New Zealand. And I'd love to say that 4 weeks went in a blink of an eye and we were back on the plane before we knew it. But somehow that 4 weeks really stretched out. We spent the last, we were edging up on 5 years now, training for this Olympics. And to have it so close in sight and yet so far away was really quite a torture. Because from now, we had to yet again prepare ourselves to leave the country, and this time we were heading to Tokyo. Before we left the country, we had prepared ourselves for the temperature change, and not something that you always think about when you leave the country. But in Japan, the temperature was mid to high 30 degrees with a shockingly high humidity, which ends up with a feels-like temperature, which is generated well into the low to mid-40s. And for any sport to operate in those sort of temperatures requires yet again a huge amount of planning. And to again have this team around us that prepared us all for that, there's no number of times that I would say thank you that would be enough to convey my gratitude to these people. And it's a reminder to all you boys in here as well to think just where would you be without some of the support around you, and to really acknowledge the hard work that is put around us to help us achieve what we want to achieve. They don't do this for their accolades, but for us. Heading now into the last stretch of what's become quite an arduous campaign. Again, filled to the brim with ups and downs, setbacks, leaps forwards. To be now so close to the finish line, all we want is to be on that start line. And I've replayed the final in my mind. I don't really know how many times. And I don't often enjoy watching myself race. To me, it's much like hearing a recording of yourself, maybe on yourself on an answering machine. You always get a bit of a cringe hearing your own voice. For me, watching my rowing is the same. But to see videos of family and friends back in New Zealand watching that race and what it meant to them, it's completely changed that race for me, and I really hope that for some of you young guys can experience something the same. And so, finishing off my 2021 year, being able to be back at a Marlborough Boys College sports Prizegiving, being able to sit in my chair and wonder and guess who's going to take out these last couple of trophies, again, it's come full circle for me, and I'm so grateful to be able to be here and finish that circle once again, finishing off another Olympic campaign, albeit slightly better than my last Olympic campaign, but to then also be able to start to look forward to my next Olympic campaign and be able to take note of a couple of these names that have taken out these big trophies, and to be able to follow them along as I have some other past winners and past teams. So to everybody who has their eye on these last couple of trophies, a good luck, and for the one who eventually takes it away, we can all appreciate the work that's gone into it, and knowing that there's a lot more of that in the future for this group is really inspiring, so good luck.
Thank you, Tom. Your story is inspiring for all our young athletes, and we look forward to watching your story continue in the future. Please accept this gift as a token of our thanks for giving up your time and coming in to share with us.
I've heard that twice now, Tom. It still amazes me how you changed within such a short frame before the Olympics to jump in another boat. I mean, I think that takes a huge amount of courage, and it's something that every time I listen to it, I think, man, what a massive decision you made. But gee, that really paid off. And the other thing I really like we talked about is gratitude. In a tough environment at the moment, still being grateful for what you have and what potentially you could have was a really awesome message. So thank you, Tom. I'll now ask Mr. Chris McMurtry, Head of PE and coach of the First 11 cricket team and Head of basketball, to read out the citation for this year's winner of the James Deverne Memorial Trophy. This trophy is in the memory of the late James Deverne, an old boy who was an outstanding sportsman and excelled in a wide range of sports. I know Moody and myself were lucky enough to be here with him. He was also a positive role model and a mentor to many others, especially the youngsters, the quality that complements an all-round sporting ability. This trophy is awarded to a student for outstanding overall performance across a variety of sporting codes at the college. The student must have displayed the qualities that not only highlights his overall sporting ability, but also demonstrated good sportsmanship, pride in the college, and good character benefiting the Memorial Trophy.
Kia ora koutou, boys. Just before I read the citation, I'd just like to say Nick DeBurn, brother of James, and Phil DeBurn, father of James, were send their apologies tonight. They would have loved to have been here, but they're out of town. And just reflecting on Tom's story, made me think of when and where I watched that race. And it was actually with Phil DeBurn, and we were in room 34, and we had a couple of classes that were sitting together, and we watched that race. And thinking about those amazing sporting moments for a New Zealander, for me, it's the 2011 Rugby World Cup against France at Eden Park win. It's the Cricket World Cup semi-final win against South Africa at Eden Park to make the final of that Cricket World Cup. And Tom Murray rowing in that 8 is definitely in the top 3 all sporting moments for me, and made me really proud to stand alongside him as an old boy off college. Our award winner tonight has proved himself to be a genuine all-rounder. During his time at Marlborough Boys College, he's played a variety of codes and shown a broad skill set throughout these codes. From first 11 football, senior A volleyball, and first 15, he's been described by his coaches as kind, honest, respectful, big, and very strong. In volleyball, he's always been a leader both in junior and senior teams. He leads by his actions and encouragement of his fellow players. No matter what, he was supportive and never said a negative word. Over his 5 years playing volleyball, he played as a setter, starting with playing in the junior A team in both year 9 and 10. In year 10, he was selected for the senior A team and has been a constant starter in that side for the past 4 years. In this time, he has also represented Tasman and New Zealand youth development teams in volleyball. In year 10, he made his debut for the first 11 football team, and like volleyball, he's been a consistent member of the side for the past 4 years, primarily playing at centre-back and captaining the side in 2020. This year, for a change of pace, he decided to add to his senior volleyball and first 11 football and try rugby for the first time, and turned out for first 15 pre-season. He showed himself to be an extremely coachable athlete and quickly picked up the basic skills and impressed the coaches. He then took on the challenge of learning to play in the front row and was selected as a prop in his first season of rugby. He consistently improved throughout the season and was presented with his cap for playing 10 games. When he was asked for his highlight in sport at Marlborough Boys College, he said the best part of playing sports at Marlborough Boys College was being able to take the field or court with my mates and having a jolly good time. This statement further reinforces his suitability for receiving this award and upholding the DeBurn qualities. This young man has an exciting future in whichever of these sports he decides to pursue, and we all look forward to following it closely in the years to come. The winner of the DeBurn Trophy for Best All-Round Sportsperson in 2021 goes to Josh Whittle. Cheers, guys.
Congratulations, Josh, and well deserved. Moody reminded me of when I watched or where I watched the race. I feel that's quite an interesting story too. I was away with Matua John in Christchurch. We're looking at potentially employing some new teachers, and the rowing race came on with a whole lot of principals having lunch, and I was sitting there, and I was pretty young compared to everyone else there, and no one was really talking to me, but I started getting excited when the race started, and then they turned around and had a look at me and they said, "Oh, what's going on?" I said, "Oh, we've got an old boy in here, Tom Murray." And they were like, "Oh, where are you from?" I said, "Oh, Marlborough boys." "Oh, where's that?" And I went, "Oh, wow, awesome." Okay, so that was my little wee story with Tom and watching that race. The next award, presentation of the sports team of the year for 2021. The premier awards for this evening are the Marlborough Boys College Sports Team and Sportsman of the Year. Each sporting code has the chance to nominate teams and individuals, with the finalists and winners being selected by a committee comprising of the head of sport, head of physical education, and teacher representatives. All finalists will receive a certificate. So as we finish reading each of the team's nomination, can they please come forward to accept their certificates? From the principal, Matua John, and Tom Murray. Can we please hold our applause until the whole team has been presented these? Once the team has received the certificates, I'll ask that they remain at the front of the hall, next to the stage, until the final winning team or person has been announced. Sports Prefect Gus and Ollie are going to read, and if we can ask Matua John and Tom to come forward to present. Thank you.
Rowing, the under-17 Cox Quad. Reece Salvador, Leon Boswello, Dylan Burton, Ashley James Fitzgerald, Sam Falcon, and Walter Wickham. As a team, these boys have attained some fantastic results, winning gold at the South Island Secondary Schools event, and then following this up with a gold medal at Mardi Cup. In addition to these boys also competed as a club team at the South Island Champs, winning gold, and at the New Zealand Rowing Champs, where they won a bronze medal. Squash. Tom Marshall, Chris Hibbard, Jack Friskin, Britton Woolley, Dylan Gilmore, Matthew Judd. Our squash team has really performed well this year with their first big success winning the South Island Secondary Schools title, which is a huge achievement. They then went on to greater heights with a third place at the National Secondary Schools Tournament, which required them to beat two of the stronger Auckland schools to earn their bronze medal. This was a huge improvement from their 8th place finish from the previous season. And it was also their first time an NBC squash team had finished in the top 3 schools in the national tournament. Triathlon. Ryan Marfell, Joe Caldwell, Finn McKenzie. Our triathlon team have excelled this year, winning the under-19 tag team relay at the New Zealand Schools Triathlon Nationals in New Plymouth. This is the premier race at this event and puts the NBC team at number 1, ranking the boys' schools in the triathlon. These teams have all performed at a very high level and should be very proud of their achievements. The NBC Team of the Year for 2021.
The NBC Team of the Year for 2021 is squash. Come on up, boys. Would the captain like to say anything?
Just quickly from me, I just want to say thank you for this team. You guys put a lot of effort this year. It's really good to see that you got the results you wanted. I'd also like to thank coaches, Tracy Marshall, Nick Dan, and Andrew Marshall. Thank you for supporting us and pushing us to be the best we can be. Thank you.
Well done to all those three teams. Really tough choice, and it shows the high calibre of athletes we've got and teams that we've got at this school. And I really liked the mention there of the coaches, and I know those coaches have spent a lot of time getting those boys up to speed, and I know a number of them have gone on to represent New Zealand because of the effort of those coaches. So well done. Presentation of Sportsman of the Year 2021. I'll read the nominees, and Mr. Tom Murray and Matua John will present the Sportsman of the Year award. All finalists will receive a certificate. So as I finish reading each finalist, will you come forward to accept the certificate and stay on stage until the winner has been announced. Can I please have the following boys? Fred Vavasor, Tom Marshall, William Exton, and Don Henry. Fred has had a stellar season on the water. At the South Island Champs, he won gold in the intermediate 4, silver in the club pair, and bronze in the club single. And followed this up with gold in both the intermediate 8 and the club pair at the New Zealand Club Champs. At the South Island Secondary School event, Fred impressed, winning the gold in both the under-18 pair and the under-18 single. He went on to win the New Zealand Secondary School Regatta, the Māori Cup, placing 5th in the under-18 A single final and winning a silver in the under-18 pair. To cap off this outstanding season, Fred was selected in the rowing New Zealand under-19 team, and he's also been selected to join the Rowing New Zealand Pathway Program, which is a fantastic achievement. Well done, Fred. Tom, squash. Tom has had a great sporting year and is continuing to make a name for himself in the world of squash. He is currently ranked the 6th best under-19 player in New Zealand and is ranked the 88th men's player in New Zealand, while still only being 16 years old. He is currently ranked number 1 in under-17 in New Zealand, which is his correct age group. During the year, Tom has managed to put together some outstanding results. He is currently the Canterbury under-17 champion, Canterbury under-23 champion, the South Island under-17 champion, won the Nelson Open men's tournament, and placed 8th in the New Zealand under-19 Junior Open tournament earlier this year. This year, Tom has represented Canterbury Junior Boys team, Canterbury Men's Senior team, and was also selected for the New Zealand Secondary School Senior team. Tom has been in the NBC 18 number 1 player since year 9 and played a big part in the NBC team, winning the South Island tournament and gaining an outstanding 3rd place at Nationals, which is a huge achievement. Well done, Tom. William, karting. What a year this man has had. William is an outstanding go-kart racer and has won many racing titles this year. William has been crowned South Island champion New Zealand Endurance Champion, New Zealand Senior Champion this season, and at this year's Senior School Karting event held at Blenheim, William placed first, adding the New Zealand Schools title to the list, having him finish the season holding every New Zealand karting title in a calendar year. William spends most of his evenings and weekends either training or racing all over the country. The dedication he has shown with his ability has earned him an offer of a factory drive for Tony Kart race team in South America. Tony Kart is the largest kart race team in the world and has started some of the careers of some of the greatest world top drivers. I think Will, I'll read your name out 4 times for nomination. Outstanding effort, well done William. Dom, target shooting. Dom has had another very successful year of shooting. In this year's New Zealand Secondary Schools, Dom placed 4th overall in the men's, helping the NBC team place 4th in New Zealand. As well as being a team member, Dom also coached the NBC team throughout the season. Dom shot in the South Island 25-yard indoor champs, placing 1st in the under-21 men and qualifying for the South Island under-21 team to shoot at the North vs South competition. Dom competed at the National 10-metre standing air rifle champs in Auckland, placing 2nd in the under-21 men and 4th in New Zealand overall. Dom also competed in the 50-metre outdoor nationals in Christchurch, where he took out the under-21 men's title and was given the honour of captaining the New Zealand under-21 men's team as a 16-year-old in a postal shoot against Australia. At this event, he also qualified for the New Zealand Open Slasher team, among the top 22 men and women in New Zealand, again shooting a postal match against Australia. Well done, Tom, on another fantastic year. I know that being part of this committee is a hell of a choice between these 4 amazing athletes. Really, really difficult, but we had to make a choice. So for 2021, the NBC Sportsman of the Year is awarded to Fred Vavasor.
Thank you very much. First, I'm very honoured to have been selected as Sportsman of the Year. Just a few thank yous. I'd first like to thank the rowing team. I wouldn't have been able to do it without you boys. My family, obviously, for putting up with me and supporting my financial commitment to rowing. And to my coach, John Robinson, and assistant coaches, Matt Straker, Grant Morgan and Clayton Lindstrom. Without your help, I wouldn't have been able to be up here today, so thank you all very much.
Well done, Fred, and well done to the other 3 nominees as well. I'll now like to call on our head boy, Jack Flynn, to close our evenings.
Kia ora, and a massive congratulations to everyone, not only being outstanding in your fields, but also making it through this year as a top athlete. 2021 has been a rollercoaster ride for everyone, particularly for athletes, so I'm told. As Tom said, spending countless hours training is taxing enough, let alone without knowing if it will even pay off. I think we can all agree that it has. Speaking of roller coasters, one thing everyone's journey has in common, other than sweating your butt off, is your ever loyal support team. We all are elect to our support teams, and likely can't understand the pain that they're actually feeling at the moment for these parents, coaches, managers, medics, support staff, and sponsors not to be here tonight. I would like to take this moment to thank all of those who have volunteered in sports for NBC. As volunteers, they do not get paid. This is not because they are worthless, but rather that they are priceless. And I hope that this time next year we can all celebrate this together. Can we please have a round of applause for all these legends? A huge thank you is also in order for the staff and students that made this evening work. On the student side of things, Hamish and Jonty deserve special recognition. A special thank you to Bridget Gain and Fleur for the hours they've put in to the certificates and organising all the trophies, as well as also to Mr. Bywater and Deb in the front office for helping with this. Sports is one of those aspects of school that for a lot of us in this room will be some of those memorable moments and friendships that we will cherish long after we leave. Tonight has been an evening that fills everyone involved in sport with a huge sense of pride as we celebrate true sporting excellence. And I wish you all the best in your future endeavours. I wouldn't be surprised if a few of you, if not all of our nominations Sportsman of the Year, get a call from our older and greater Mr. McKero, asking you to share your long list of successes at future award evenings. I'll just ask that Josh, the squash team, and Fred stay behind for photos. Thank you all for attending and have a great night.
Thank you, gentlemen. Kia ora anō. Just one or two closing remarks. I want to thank Mr. Harrison for stepping in at short notice, and certainly our staff, because we do know behind the scenes they contribute to every single student success, not just sportingly, culturally, academic, leadership, service-wise as well. Tom, inspiration. We ask our young men to leave a legacy behind, but I think you've added another layer to that to come back and inspire. Kia ora.